Hey guys, my name is Pascal Payant. I'm the movie director of On the Horizon, and today I'm going to talk to you about my process using the Red Dragon camera. On the Horizon came from a very ambitious vision. The goal was to shoot something around the world. We shot in France and Utah, and it was no crew. It was me, my sound guy, and assistant. I wanted to break the barriers about what can we do with absolutely nothing and have a high quality product. So that's what I was trying to accomplish. And then the big question was, what camera can I use? Because nowadays anything can be shot with absolutely everything. We can use a iPhone, DSLR, whatever. So my big concern was I don't want to mess it up. I want to make sure that I can go quick, I can shoot fast, I can walk fast, that there's no big preparation. I just want to shoot and make sure that the big quality is there. So I was debating, what camera do I use? So I was debating for months to just trying to find the best camera possible. So in the end, I chose the Red Dragon. Was it the best camera for the job? Yes and no. Yes, because first it was the price. That's what I wanted to accomplish first. What can I get with my budget for my feature film? Because the whole thing was shot with $85,000. So I didn't want to spend too much money on the gear, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure that the quality was there. So what I did is that I was doing research to make sure that the look that I wanted was possible. So with the Red Dragon, the beauty of it is that first it was the money. I had an amazing sponsor in Montreal called Postmodern, and they gave me for a very cheap price, they gave me the camera for the month. It was the Red Dragon 6K. Everything was shot in 6K, but finished in 4K and delivered in HD. Some platform is 4K. So after a lot of debate, I was doing the pros and cons, and that camera allowed me to make sure first it was RAW. So the beauty of RAW was that I can shoot anywhere, and if I mess it up, I can fix in post, because everything, if you guys saw the film, it was all shot almost outside, natural location, natural lighting. So I needed the options to make sure that I can fix everything in post. I didn't want to be a crutches, but I wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure that at least it was a tool that I can lean on if I need to. So yeah, that camera, the image is absolutely stunning. You cannot go wrong with that camera. It's one of the best in the world. But the other camera that I was debating was the Sony, because I know that everything was about to shoot in low light. So the Sony cannot be beat. Even the Canons, I was debating, do I go non-RAW, compressed footage, something super small compared to the Red that I had to make it as a DSLR a little bit. So everything was shot with one angle, my lens, and the batteries. So it was heavy. It was almost 20 pounds total. So after 1 month, it can be kind of a burden compared to small DSLR. You can shoot in fast way easier. So you need to be in shape, that's for sure. So in the end, I just wanted to I think the raw aspect of it just won over everything. The funny thing is that I never shot with the Red camera, like never. It was the first time on set that I've used it. I didn't know anything about it. I've read online, checked videos on YouTube, and I was just like, let's go jump. Because in the end, I think it's always kind of the same thing. You just, you can have any kind of camera. At the end is you need to be great. You need to be able to get the image out of any kind of camera. It's all about yourself. That's why for me it was important to research the location that fit my style. So for me, I love to shoot outside, beautiful location. Everything needs to be poppy, and that's what I love the most. So I know with the Red camera, I was able to get amazing dynamic range. The raw footage that after that, when it's time to do the color correction that I did with Postmodern again, it was just amazing. With the quality that you were able to achieve, I thought I was kind of good about grading, but now I realize that I suck. When you work with professional, it changes everything. What made me go to the Red camera was price-wise. It was the quality, and at the end it was just like price-wise. It's stupid to say, but in the end, any kind of camera can do the same thing. I think, yes, maybe in the color grading section, you can see a big difference because it's not raw. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that this film was the best that I can shoot, and if there's any kind of mistakes, I can. And in the end, I didn't do a lot of mistakes. I was super lucky about that. Not a lot of problem. And sometime near the end, I had problem with the sensor. For some reason, it started to glitch like crazy, and it was like the last day of my shoot. After 24 day, the sensor completely messed up. So I was freaking out like crazy. So I had a camera in backup just in case, and it was the Panasonic GH4 that I'm still using today. And it's a great camera, but it's completely in a whole different ball game compared to Red. I'm not a big fan. It's great. It does a beautiful 4K images, but there's one or two scenes in the film that I'm using the GH4. But I don't know. Just I will not use that camera. So, and then the next thing I was the Sony was a big factor that I wanted to go because of low light. A lot of, at least after the film is shot in low light, and I know Red kind of sucks in low light, but I was super surprised of the quality that you can achieve in low light. There's a big nightclub scene where there's lasers and flashes of light and everything is blue. It came out beautifully. Of course, I had to tone it down with the noise reduction a little bit, but mostly what you see in the film is the quality itself. A lot of people asking me what type of lens that I've used for the film, and everything was shot with I think is the best lens that you can have. I didn't use cine lens. I never used it. I never worked with those kind of lenses, but it was shot with the Canon 24-105 L series. I think is the most versatile, best lens possible. It's a lens that has stabilization in it, and I think it's just a dream come true. You don't have to waste time to switch to, because just that, it cuts the time of your shooting. Just always to stop production, change the gear, change the lens, do testing. So at least for me, when I shoot, I love to make it as a documentary. So I need to shoot fast, I need to zoom in. You don't lose time, you play with the actors, you try stuff. And just for example, the scene that you're seeing behind me, it was just improv, let's go with it. And we save at least 1 hour just because I could walk away with the actors and play with them. And just, you go from a 24mm to a 105, it's stabilized, and I think it's still the best lens for probably 10 years. That's the only lens that I've worked with. And even in low light, at one point I used a 24mm 1.4 because I needed a lot of low light. But other than that, everything was shot with a 24-105. I think is the best lens. If you need one lens, this is the lens. A lot of research was planned into the film, just location-wise, because I wanted to make sure that each shot, each location was stunning, was pure breathtaking, that looked different and looked like film. That was the main thing, to make sure that everything is perfect, so that after that the camera can do its job and just capture everything. And the beauty with the Red Dragon is that everything that you shoot is just so stunning. With the dynamic range, I think it's almost 17 with the Red Dragon, and you just being able to capture all those details in the clouds, and you just maintain all those beautiful details that you sometimes with other cameras you can lose. One detail that I would say, the big tip for how to shoot with Red, that's what I've learned, and I've learned that a little bit too late, but I think it's just what you need to do is that you make sure that the exposure, it's always at 800. You don't need to go back because it's raw. You don't need to bring it to 250 or 400, whatever. I would suggest you expose everything at 800, and you make sure that your histogram, it's always in the middle or just a little bit going to the highlight. Because once you're in that sweet spot, then you can bring everything down. You can bring it to 600, 500, 400, whatever, and you're gonna have the most amazing details, and you have options to play with. Because if you start, let's say at 800, but you expose too low, then you're screwed. Because after that, you have to crank it, and it's not gonna be as great. So make sure that 800 ISO, you make sure that you're always in your middle of the Instagram or just a little bit towards the highlight. Just that little trick, seriously, is gonna save you so much work, and you're gonna have the best possible result. Before the project, I've asked other filmmakers what was their experience with the Red, and a lot of people were saying the same thing. It sucks in low light, it sucks in low light. And like I said, I think it was pretty amazing what you can achieve in low light. Again, you need to make sure that you find location that there's lights as an ambient, at least. It can be spotlight of the street, it can be cars, it can be anything. But if you have some kind of source around it, you're gonna be good. The most important part of my decision to choose the Red in the end was raw. It was the amazing dynamic range and quality of the images, price-wise because I had a sponsor, so that made a huge difference. And then it was just the overall quality. For me, it was kind of a trip of what it is, the feeling to work with the Red camera. How is it going to come out? Is it going to be beautiful? Is it going to be great? And overall, even if I had some glitch with the sensor at the end, it was just an amazing blast. And it's always fun, or just you shoot some stuff, you think it's going to be great, but it's when you start to do the color correction, or you see some professional to do that with your footage and you see it on a big screen, that's where it blows your mind. So yeah, just make sure that there's so many cameras right now that do the job. So just pick what you feel is gonna help you the most with the project, because any kind of quality, any kind of camera is gonna give you the best quality possible. So at the end is just make sure that you're just at ease with the camera. And for me, it was like a DSLR, so I was super at ease. Of course, it's heavy, but once you get the trick, the hang of it, you're gonna be fine. It's just you're gonna be able to set it out. Like I said, one big tip that I would suggest to people is that make sure you work with someone who knows exactly how to grade your images. That's day and night. That's gonna kill it or make your project. I was so shocked and surprised to see professional tweak my images to do something completely amazing. And it's just a collaborating effort that you see, that you're in the room and you see your images and then you play with the colors, you test some stuff. Everything was done in Resolve at the Postmodern facility. But we didn't do any kind of lot or stuff like that. It was just pure curve and tweak and little recipe that they were doing. But as you can see, everything is super poppy. I love when it blasts. So I make sure that all my location represent my style that I was doing. I didn't buy any lens for this. Like everything was rented out. The 24 105, I got that lens, and but the rest I rented it everywhere. But you can make an amazing film and have, if you have the connection to at least bring all those gears, that's where you can cut down. If you have sponsors, if you have connection, you don't need a lot of stuff. That's what I've learned. You don't need for me, I've been doing this for 10 years and I never rely on gears. It was just the simplistic way I can shoot. And I think that's for me at least, when you shoot like a documentary, light, fast, quick, that's where you can be way more creative, because the look is going to be great, but then after that you have the time to play with the actors, to create some things super amazing. And but once you have the location, the world that you want to create, then you can bring any kind of camera and it's going to make it pop, that's for sure. The whole film was edited on Adobe Premiere. I thought that the process of just bringing all the red footage into the Adobe was flawless. It was flawless. It was super easy. It was, as soon as you put it in, you drag it into your timeline, it pops, it worked natively. And then after that, you just start editing. I didn't do any kind of proxies. I just edited the 6K footage right away. And then at the end, if you have, and I have the latest the iMac, and it worked perfectly. So you don't need the biggest 7,000, 10,000 computer, because I did it. Trust me, I bought the $10,000 computer and I sold it because I thought it was pure crap. And then I went back to iMac and it worked flawlessly. So just Adobe Premiere was just the best friend of Red. I think they just complement each other perfectly. The one thing that I was super surprised about is that when you shoot with Red, the image quality, it's so filmic, and that was another big factor that I was debating between the Sony F55 and the Red Dragon. I was testing both. I was seeing footage online, and I love how clean and digital it was from the Sony, and it was a good thing and a bad thing, because I wanted to have this kind of a film look. And but with the Red, I don't know, it was just, there's just something so filmic about it, that it's maybe less clean or less digital than the Sony, and I think that's a good thing, because you want to be, I'm not a purist that I want to do film and stuff like that. For me, I love digital, but the Sony, the problem I think is just it's too video-ish, you know what I mean? So with the Red, I think it's just almost looks like film. It's almost identical, I think. So yeah, but thank you. So this is my experience with the Red camera. I recommend it to everyone. I just bought it. So I think it's a great camera. I want to work with that process, that kind of a culture of Red, and Once you're, of course, there's going to be other camera that's going to come out that's probably going to be freaking amazing. But in the end, just take any tool that you want. Just go out there, shoot, find amazing location, create great characters, stories, and go for it. You know, don't depend on your gear. We're so in 2017, we're just talking about gear. But focus on the story, focus on the world, the mood that you want to create, and that's way more important than any kind of gear that you can accomplish. So find what you love. Find a tool that really helps you to be creative, that inspires you, because I've experienced that. There are some tools that can kill your creativity, and I think the GH4 did that for me. I didn't like at all that camera, and I'm selling it right now. So, but with the Red, when I took it, I wanted to create, I don't know, there's just some kind of energy, something about camera that just connect with you. So once you find that tool, go outside, have fun, shoot, do whatever you want, and just have fun, guys, and just shoot the most amazing freaking project. Thank you.